Cool. Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like yo.
Like yo?
Like yo.
Like yo.
Yo.
We've retreated back to the safety of audio only.
Yes. I could take big leaps like yo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could really swing big when no one's looking at us and we're not self-conscious about how we look on the camera.
I wasn't until I saw that video.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. The number of people to whom I've said the phrase, it was a wide-angle lens.
And they went, sure.
I'm like, okay.
No, but you don't understand.
As I'm shoving chili fries in my mouth.
It was
a wide-angle lens. No, thank you, everyone that's watched our video episode from last week so far. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's been very popular.
Yeah, you guys are dope.
Well, speaking of people that enjoy us, we got a review.
Yay!
Hey! Well, I'm assuming it's positive. I actually don't ever check if it's...
I mean, we should maybe start doing that. We should start screening them.
It's legitimately, though, you guys...
I fucking hate these guys. 5 stars.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they gave us 5 stars, yeah.
I take it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this comes from Ty Kasky with a 5-star review on Facebook. He goes on to say, Been looking for a podcast of... Hold on, I'm getting into character. Been looking for a DC podcast that's
Sam
informative, but also casual. And y'all's show is perfect. I'll work 14 hours on a forklift a day, and you guys are my entertainment. Keep it up. And also a new Patreon. Chevrolet. Canyonero.
This just in, that review just got taken down because you found that
somehow offensive,
deeply uncouth.
Was it Southern cultural appropriation?
Yeah, you monster. Yeah,
as long as it's white, it's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Ty not only sent us a review, he also subscribed to our Patreons. Thank you, Ty.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Keep it up.
You're trying not to do the voice now.
It's a great job you did there.
It's very Sam Elliott-esque, I would say.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's almost. We're moving further.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sniggity.
Oh, you like that one longer than value. Oh, been looking for DC podcast that's informative.
Just slowly move through different states.
Oh, been there looking there for a DC podcast that's...
I work 14-hour days on a forklift.
Oh, Jake.
Oh, God, we're off the rails.
Yeah, it's nuts already.
Again, the freedom of audio only.
Well, I think we're about riled up. Let's get into the news.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion, Flula Borg, both signed on to Suicide Squad.
Flula Borg?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I heard the Nathan Fillion thing.
Yeah, Flula. I fucking love Flula.
Yeah, I do too, but as what? Oh my God, I hope he's like fucking Polka Dot Man.
He's an unknown role. The only information thus far is that he'll be a love interest for one of the characters.
I still hope he's Polka Dot Man.
He would actually not be a terrible Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit, Flula Borg?
Right?
Did Nathan Fillion, they also didn't announce who he's cast as? Or did we know that one?
So, let's see.
It'd be down for him to be like Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah. As yet undisclosed role.
Yeah. Well, because remember, like originally, like the casting announcement where they were talking about the roles that would be in this movie, they listed a bunch of new ones. Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, Rat Catcher, stuff like that. And then when they were announcing casting, it was all returning characters that they hadn't announced were going to return, like Captain Boomerang, Harley, Waller, Rick Flag. And we were like, so they just announced a bunch of returning people that they didn't even announce the first time, and we still don't have who's playing the new characters. So
I'm assuming that if these
it
guys
must be in there. But yeah, Flula Borg would be funny as Polka Dot Man or Ratcatcher.
Oh yeah, both. But then also a romance, like for one of the characters.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher get together.
Oh.
A match made in heaven.
Oh my God, Nathan Fillion.
A ratch made in heaven.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're so ratchet.
Wow,
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, 2009 call.
And they said I was ratchet.
Yeah. And then I said you were Clank.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're so cool.
I know. Top of the hits.
Thanks, Dad.
All right, you rascals have fun. I'm going to go make some pizza bugs.
but yeah, Nathan Fillion, very excited. Flula Pork, that's amazing.
I'm so stoked for that.
Yeah.
He's always great when
the other one that they announced was a guy who's been like a sort of like a secondary, like tertiary, like Ravager in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Steve Agee.
Yeah, he's going to be the voice of King Shark.
Steve Agee's an amazing comedian.
Yeah.
A really great photographer. And
Really?
Yeah. And a consummate podcast guest.
But he's going to be King Shark.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm totally up for that. I think
Yeah.
Steve Agee's great. That's a great news.
So that was another one that I saw for Suicide Squad. We're starting to get some news about that one. So yeah, things are moving.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Next piece of news. Greg Capullo re-signs with DC Comics.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
And he announced a new team up once again. Do you know who it is?
With Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder to produce their biggest adventure yet.
I like how every time they say it, the last time we're working together,
Yes.
DC doubles down and it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. Here's more money.
It was like, this is our last arc on Batman. It was like, oh, do Metal. And then it was like, Metal's our last one. It's like, do Last Night on Earth. It's like, all right, here's Last Night on Earth. I like that they keep, they work very well together. It's hard to deny their chemistry as a creative team. Did they say what the project is?
So all that's been said is basically Capullo has been a DC mainstay since 2011, taking only a break from the comic publishing giant in 2015 to work on Reborn for Image.
Yep.
Ever since 2018, Scott Snyder has been talking about a sequel to Dark Knight's Battle. So people are guessing that might be what it is.
I mean, that would
ever since way back in 2018.
Well, it would make sense because they've kept the Batman Who Laughs around, and we've seen more and more of this dark multiverse stuff. I mean, to me, it's maybe like a little early to delve right back into that with another event. But if they're just trying to strike while the iron's hot or something, it doesn't surprise me if that is what it is.
Totally.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Capullo?
I am actually, but very particularly when he works with Snyder because Scott Snyder, all of his work on American Vampire and like some other stuff, like he's got a good, I'd say like horror sensibility, and Capullo can bring that to life.
Yeah,
like some
really
of that shit from that first New 52 Batman run, like between Court of Owls and then like 0 Year, the stuff they did with Dr. Death, the stuff they did in Super Heavy in that arc with Mr. Bloom, and that like he can bring these like monsters to life.
Yeah.
And it's so creepy and kind of gothic looking. Like which is also why it was perfect for Metal, right? Seeing these like nightmare versions of Batman and
totally
all that kind of thing. Like they work super well together because I think they share a bit of a sensibility of like what are things that would scare people.
Yeah.
I think that's where they riff well off each other. So yeah, I mean, if it's another trip to the dark multiverse, or if it's more Batman or something with monsters or stuff like that, I think it's a perfect fit. Actually, yeah.
All right. Next piece of news: Morrison and Sharp leave Green Lantern in the black for now.
Yes. Well, this kind of ties into the news that we talked about last week.
A little bit. It was last week, but we've just finished up the 12th issue.
Yes. Which I haven't because we live in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
Is that Hot Heat?
Yeah.
Is that who I just brought back there?
Do you know one of those guys started a country career?
Really?
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, I mean, we there, the whole arc has been about these black stars, started by Controller Mu,
Yeah.
and Hal sort of infiltrating, but kind of becoming one of them,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. That's been all through this series, and then we're taking a hiatus. There's going to be that 3-issue miniseries about the black stars before we come back to Green Lantern.
The Emerald Agenda.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
What?
I'm trying to find a way to work a Trump thing in there, and I can't.
Oh.
It's an Emerald Agenda.
It's the Orange Agenda.
It is greed,
Yeah.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone say that we don't get political on here.
Yeah. Really the top of the political charts. I mean, that's why we are called Dr.
Yeah.
DC.
We're going to build a source wall around the multiverse.
Yes, you've made this joke before.
Have I?
Yes.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah.
I've had time to workshop it.
Yeah, you're going to bring that into your next stand-up?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Did you ever end up posting that? Oh, hey, Patreon subscribers. I think you might need to push for that again.
God damn it. Yeah.
You guys forgot about that, but I know it's been done.
It has been done.
The recording happened.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, fuck you.
Titans Season 2 synopsis teases Titans Tower, Team Reunion, and Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right? Titans Tower. I mean, I think the synopsis basically says, like, after defeating Trigon, Grayson officially reforms the Titans. So we've seen some stuff, with Aqualad and Donna Troy, and I think we're getting maybe some flashback to the first team of Titans that he would have been a part of as Robin.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to see him officially forming this new team with Raven, Beast Boy, Starfire. And the theory that I've seen bandied about, because in the trailer you see a lot of Raven with the gem in her forehead.
Yes.
Is that she maybe traps Trigon in the gem.
Oh, yeah.
Early in the season, and that's where he is. And
Well, then who's the big bad?
I think
Is it Deathstroke then? Wow, that would be crazy, right?
Yeah. Because we've seen Ravager in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially because I think now these DC shows are going like, shit, we could go at any moment. Let's throw everything we got at this.
And I don't see why not. Again, like I said before, having 1 or 2 seasons of something is better than no seasons. So I wouldn't want them to hold back, the first season of Titans was so good.
Yeah.
I think, kind of surprisingly.
Yeah, but
I think it was easy to look at the first season before it came out and be like, oh, great, gritty teen sidekicks, amazing.
Yeah, fuck Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And then it ended up being the dopest shit ever.
Yeah.
I'm super pumped for it. I think it's going to be awesome.
I think my problem was the shows just kept getting better as they got released.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, all right, back to the drawing board, Titans. Like, what do you got?
Well, but we are getting another Doom Patrol season. That's not done.
Yeah, thank God.
The only one that's done is Swamp Thing. Because we are getting another season of Doom Patrol. We are getting another season of Doom Patrol.
Okay.
We're getting another season of Young Justice.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole thing's like
no,
it's
for
literally
sure.
I think just Swamp Thing.
Though I still haven't watched Swamp Thing, and I've been seeing now the trailers on Space.
And Krypton, but that's not the DC universe.
Yeah,
show,
on Space they've been showing all of the trailers for it, and I'm like, God damn, that looks good.
It is.
It looks like a totally different, like completely different type of show from the rest of them.
Good.
Fuck.
It's so good.
Bummer.
I mean, the thing that'll piss you off is a conspicuous lack of Cajun accents, but
if you're in the South, why you got no accents? I don't understand.
But there is some choice scenes of making turtle soup, so
that's good. Well, you get some, you lose some, right?
Yeah.
All right. Aquaman Comics debut epic Black Manta mecha.
Yeah, like the mecha manta suit. This is all part of this ongoing Year of the Villain. So Lex has basically dissolved his fortune, given out his tech. He's making an appeal to every villain in the universe, essentially, and saying, I'll give you something to help you be more villainous if you embrace doom and selfishness and things because he's trying to tip the whole scale of the multiverse that way. And what he gives to Manta is this giant,
it's awesome
Pacific Rim suit sort of thing.
It's so rad. Yeah, it's a kaiju beater.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm always a week or so behind on the comics, so I haven't actually gotten there yet. But it's all of this Year of the Villain stuff is kind of neat the way that it's tying in. You know, we've already seen some stuff with Shadow Thief in the Hawkman comic. We've seen stuff with the Rogues. In the Flash, we know that he's gone for Mr. Freeze in Detective Comics. He's gone to Ra's al Ghul in Batman and the Outside. Like, he's hitting up everyone. He's gone to Red Cloud in Action Comics. So it's kind of, it's neat to see like how he's arming basically the villains of the universe. And you know, we're leading up to the arc in Justice League. The Justice Doom War is about to break out. Basically,
it's awesome.
The fate of the entire multiverse.
That sounds really exciting.
It's crazy. What a time to be alive.
That's awesome.
Also, my daughter's using words, and she likes.
Are any of those words Batman?
Not yet.
Like, get out.
I'm really not a dirtbag dad. I got to make that very clear.
Didn't you say you were coming up for back as mom?
Would you shut? That was 3 weeks ago. You gotta be cool, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. DC makes major change to Batman villain Black Mask.
I might have missed this, but this is. I think
this is all part of the Year of the Villain.
It's the Year of the Villain Black Mask, like one shot.
Yeah,
that I haven't read yet,
so
I actually don't know.
I don't have to spoil it then if you don't.
Yeah, let's not.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Our listeners know that I'm always like a tiny bit behind, so
mentally and in comics.
Fuck you.
Last piece
now
of
I
news.
Just feel bad.
Good. That was the plan.
I don't even want to talk about it.
DC reveals what the Teen Titans have been doing to villains.
Yeah, which is like kind of like a reused storyline. They're basically identity crisising the villains. They're like not just wiping their memories. They're like using magic to change who they are and like forcibly, quote unquote, rehabilitate them and put them back out into society, which was the whole fucking thing with Identity Crisis, where Zatanna was doing that. And the Teen Titans are doing it because Damian can't be trusted because he's a bad Robin.
Wow.
I've come out and said it.
You really like you really stood on the side of the line.
I don't hate Damian as a character, but I think he's a bad Robin. Like I'm glad he's in the comics because I think these are like it's interesting to see like a Batman protege that like that explicitly does not share his moral code.
Hashtag Bat Take.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hashtag Bat Take.
Yeah. Let us know what your...
I don't know what stance I'm taking right now.
Yeah. You, all you residents out there, let us know what your hot Batman take is.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bat Take.
Yeah. I like that.
Thanks.
But yeah, that's essentially what that Teen Titans team has been doing.
Yeah. And I don't like it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny that they're so directly taking a thing from Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
I will admit I am not currently reading that book. That's a thing I'll sort of catch up on later. So I don't know if they've already acknowledged that connection.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, oh, I heard Zatanna did this. Like, I don't know if they've actually done that or not. But it would be interesting if when Batman finds out, if like any reference to that having previously happened sort of drops.
Well, at least in this article, they've said nothing about it. So
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what the fallout of this is. I can only imagine that, especially with Lex sort of going out and about. Maybe Lex would give some of them their memories and stuff back in the way that a bunch of them got their memories. Like Dr. Light got his memories back in Identity. I mean, again, it's just Identity Crisis. Hopefully Soup Dibney doesn't have to die this time.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
I mean, I guess technically they can't bring up... this is the thing with canon, right?
Yeah.
They could maybe reference that Zatanna had been doing it, but it wouldn't be like referencing Identity Crisis because in the current continuity, Sue Dibney is not dead. And her death is the big thing that kicks off Identity Crisis. So...
My brain hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a thing like that. So maybe they're deliberately avoiding the reference because of that.
But then just taking the idea because it's available.
It's not necessarily a bad idea, and it's not something beyond what I would consider to be the scope of this team of like morally ambiguous sort of sidekicks.
Oh, really?
I mean, they've been pushing some boundaries, you know.
Oh, taking chances, making mistakes.
Yeah,
come on, the magic scuba,
getting messy.
Yeah.
Ralphie.
Field trip. Oh. All right. Well, that's it for.
I have a piece of news.
You do.
I don't know if you saw it or not.
Oh my God, he's finally proposing.
Producer Richard.
He's down on both knees.
That's
Wait, hold on. He's not proposing.
No, the piece of news that I saw is that the Black Adam movie is looking to start filming in like April 2020.
Oh.
And that as much as you can confirm at this stage, it looks like the adversary will be Hawkman.
Whoa, Hawkman.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Because, they both go back to
Shazam.
They both go back to ancient Egypt. So it'd be interesting if it was I don't know if it'll all be set back then or if they sort of fight through time or...
And are they making like a Hawkman the good guy,
yeah.
But are they framing the good guy like the bad guy?
Well, no, I think it would be more than likely it would be something where it's like Black Adam is the anti-hero. Maybe he kills people, he does things the wrong way, but his like quote unquote noble goal is to free or protect Kandak.
Yeah.
Under his rule. And Hawkman is being like, this is not the way to do things, and fights him and then ultimately loses that fight.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or something to that effect. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? They didn't say really anything about story other than that a script has been turned in and they're sort of going to, they kind of set aside time to actually film it. So it's happening.
It's happening.
They cast The Rock like 7 years ago as Black Adam.
Wow.
And he was supposed to be in Shazam. And then they were like, no, there's too much story. Let's give them each their own movie and then maybe put them together
later on
in a later movie. So, yeah.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
I wonder if they're going to be filming the next Shazam soon because those kids are getting old.
Yeah, I would expect if Black Adam is going to show up in a Shazam movie, it would be the third one. Just timeline-wise with things coming in.
Oh, because the next one's going to have the little caterpillar guy probably?
Mr. Mind?
Yeah. Mr. Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get into this week's theme.
Yeah. That
I came up with. Thank you. Oh, too much. Continue.
Yeah, our theme this week is, yes, your idea. Like suits of armor, battle suits, basically like the protective gear.
Yeah.
The DC universe. Not everyone is Superman.
That's right. Well, and even the ones who are have some.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's different versions of suits or armors or things like that, and some are relatively iconic. So, yeah, it's a cool theme. We got lots of questions.
I do my part.
Yeah, let's calm the fuck down. It's like it's a good idea. Let's not get carried.
I mean, it's a great idea. But,
it's good. I think.
Yeah, good on the side of great.
It's probably closer to good.
Son of a bitch. Nothing I do is ever. This is why I leave those types of intros. See, you guys think that I'm being over dramatic because the sound quality is bad. You don't know what he's like when he's off the mic.
And you don't want to.
Oh my God. I'm going to get beat for this now.
Jesus.
It's going to be bad. I've been bad.
Daddy made a kitty.
Ooh, Daddy made a kitty. I need my diaper change.
No, I'm out. Nope.
Ooh, sexy little tootsies.
Nope.
All right. Well, we got a ton of questions. We should jump in.
Let's do it.
Let's go over to Facebook.
Going to the face and the book. Going to the Facebook. Holy shit. That was aggressive as hell.
I'm not drinking today. I just got weirdly.
This
I've got a lot of energy.
131. It's time to amp it up.
Yeah. This is a rock and roll Dr. DC podcast now. All right. Well, we've only just damned
the least rock and roll drop.
Hold on. We've only just damned done.
That was good.
Thank you.
Nice.
Who asks, is there a story behind Big Barda's armor?
I don't think so, but Big Barda.
Moving on.
But Big Barda does have sort of two kind of main looks. I'd say her primary look, her main one, is the full armor that she wears as leader of the Female Furies, and then when she escapes Apocalypse and goes to live on Earth. Big Barda, quick refresher, is one of like the new gods. She's raised on Apocalypse. She works for Granny Goodness and by extension Darkseid until she falls in love with Mr. Miracle and they escape together to Earth and she is good. Becomes a hero. But her main armor is sort of like a blue scale mail with like yellow and red with this big kind of sort of crescent helmet that she wears.
Feels almost like Egyptian-y kind of.
It has some, I know why. The helmet in particular.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, yeah. No, there's not a particular story to that other than it just being apocalyptic armor. So, as far as its capability, it's beyond something we could make on Earth generally.
Oh, okay.
In terms of its strength and durability.
Yeah.
The other look that's relatively iconic for Big Barda is like a weirdly revealing kind of bikini look that's like red and black. It's just like the sort of like, it almost looks like a sports bra and underwear, but it's meant to be armor. But her like whole abdomen is showing and her legs and arms are bare. You see that armor in like, you remember I talked about there's that Action Comics story where Darkseid goes to Mr. Miracle and is like, oh, I found this like fuck tape of Superman and Big Barda. And you're like, maybe you should watch it. That weird story.
Yes.
She wears that in that. She wears it in the Beyond timeline. Big Barda is part of the Justice League Beyond, and she sort of wears it in there. It was in the cartoon and stuff like that. But generally speaking, especially in most modern versions of the comics, Big Barda tends to wear the full blue, yellow, red armor.
Yeah.
But no, beyond that, there's not like a particular story to it. It's not like it belonged to someone else and she killed them and took it or anything like that. No.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next question comes from the most interesting resident.
Roland Sebas?
Incorrect. Andrew Delgado.
Have we changed who that applies to?
I think it applies to whoever I choose.
Right.
To.
Yeah. So we have. Yeah.
Because I am very inventive and intelligent.
Moving on.
Yes. And no, we won't. Yes, we will. Andrew Delgado asks, Jamie Reyes has some crazy feats, and the Scarab threatens some even more powerful features we don't get to see. Where does the Reach armor rank in DCU power armors?
Right. I mean, it's ironic that you started with such like a broad accent and then mispronounced Jaime.
Look, it looks like Jamie. I don't read.
His last name is
Blue Beetle.
His last name is Reyes.
Yeah, but how many Jaimes have you met? I've heard of more Reyes than I've heard of Jaimes.
Let's put a little care and thought into what we say.
Like, I don't know about no names.
His name's Jamie. He's an American.
Yeah. He's an American man.
Jaime Reyes. Yes. The third Blue Beetle. So he's the one that becomes Blue Beetle after Ted Kord was killed in the previous timeline.
Yeah.
But he's the current Blue Beetle, basically. But his, unlike Ted Kord, who was just like a gadgets guy that wore a Blue Beetle suit, Jaime Reyes gets his powers from this alien scarab that is basically fused to him.
Yeah.
That has a sort of AI inside of it. So that scarab, he can activate it and it puts this basically alien armor all over him. And the armor can sort of like change shape, form different things, form cannons, make grapples, fly, like any of those sort of things. It sort of adapts and changes shape to do that. That armor is pretty powerful. The energy blasts that it can fire are extremely strong, and it allows him to carry enormous weight or be extremely durable. And, like I said, it has an AI, so it can like compute. It has a bit of a fight computer kind of element to it. It can do a lot. But his specific scarab is unique because basically the Reach, the alien race from which this scarab originates, they sent all of these scarabs out as like a surreptitious way to invade worlds. They were like these notorious conquerors that basically were so good at conquering, they
Yeah.
fought the Green Lantern Corps to a standstill.
Wow.
Like the Corps couldn't beat them, and so they basically wrote a treaty that was like, you can't invade any more worlds. So then they made these scarabs that would like fly to planets, attach themselves to someone, infiltrate, the AI would take them over, and then by the time the Corps found out that an invasion was happening, it would be too late, and they would already have that world. It was their way of like continuing to conquer. But the scarab gets damaged, the one on the way to Earth. It lands in ancient Egypt. It's exposed to sort of the magics of that time, including Naboo and things like that. Oh, Naboo.
Oh, no.
The Jedi.
Don't do that voice.
So, but it basically, it's damaged in a way that it sort of becomes independent on its own. It has its own personality, and it doesn't take over Jaime. They work together. But yeah, I mean, as far as where I would rank it in armors of the DCU, I think I'd rank it higher than it may have even displayed. Partially because the circumstances of how the Scarab is when Jaime gets it makes it that maybe its full potential has not been unlocked.
Well, if it's part of a group that could beat Green Lantern,
well, yeah, precisely. So,
and then magic has been added to it.
There's elements of magic. The current retcon had something to do that it was fully magic, that the alien thing was like a lie. I'll be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on precisely where we sit with it right now, but it's somewhere between it's very magic and it's very alien.
Fair, okay.
But either way, I'm tempted to say that it's exceedingly dangerous artifact, because even if it's about the magic, the point in that series relatively recently was that Dr. Fate shows up to be like, you do not know what you're dealing with. And if the most powerful magician shows up to say like, be fucking careful, it must be something to reckon with, right?
Yeah.
So I'd put it pretty high up. I bet you it could trounce like Lex Luthor's armor. I bet it could trounce a bunch of Batman stuff. If you take the strategy of Batman out of it, just mechanically, I think it could probably beat a bunch of that. Yeah, I'm willing to bet I'm going to say top 5 armors on Earth.
Wow.
You know, there are things in the cosmos beyond, you know, that I don't want to throw in there. But in terms of just suits of armor that exist and are used on Earth, I'm going to put the Reach armor, the Blue Beetle armor, top 5.
No. Is there a specific size of this armor that maybe it could...
Now here's the great thing, Master Wayne. It just attaches to your spine. Doesn't matter how big you are. Doesn't matter how small you are. You can get the armor.
Just a little clip, and it's inside your spine.
Yeah, it's so simple. I did still have to have your parents murdered. I mean, parents were murdered in an accident.
Yeah, completely.
I was more for the psychological molding necessary to inhabit the Scarab armor. But.
Just by coincidence, the right things happen.
So Jaime Reyes, here's the Scarab. Here's what I did. Ted Cord, he was the previous Blue Beetle. I sent him on a suicide mission, got shot in the head. Now it's your turn to be the Blue Beetle.
Yes, suicide mission, completely by accident.
Yep, completely by accident. I did not tell Maxwell Lord he was coming.
Oh, come on, Alfred. It's almost all together.
Oh, this is your moment. This is your moment.
All right.
He's come back a lot lately.
Well, yeah, because it's fun.
I think it's because Pennyworth.
Wow, that's the thing. Yeah, it has reignited
brought up all these feelings.
And I'm a couple episodes in, so it's
yeah.
All right. Well, look, it's another paragraph from Chad Bokelman.
Bogle.
Over the years, the Dark Stars have seemingly become Green Lantern light, starting as almost stand-ins for the Corps, but now recently have become a heavier and heavier player with Hal and the Corps. And Morrison's new run. Why are they such a big deal? What are their exomantle suits' powers compared to the Corps? Waits for Richard to get done insulting me.
Poor guy, just wants to ask a nice question.
I do it because I love you. That's the key.
And no one has ever said that showing love via abuse is a problem.
I learned it from watching you.
You shut the fuck
up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's talk about the Dark Stars. So, I mentioned the Black Stars earlier when we were talking about Morrison's Green Lantern.
I'm more aware of the Monstars, to be honest, but
And that's fair. I heard him, I heard him, I heard him, I heard him. You heard him, no. Is that song in there, or am I making that up?
I don't know that song is. No.
Going to the space jam.
All right.
The Dark Stars are basically, like Chad said, they're started by this group called the Controllers, who are another offshoot of like the Malthusians. That's the same race as the Guardians of the Universe. So the Guardians made the Green Lantern Corps. The Zamorans, who are all female versions of the Guardians, made the Star Sapphires. The Controllers made the Dark Stars. The Dark Stars don't wield anything from the emotional spectrum, though, but they have these exomantle suits that they basically equip the Dark Stars with. And for a bit, they were sort of like a substitute core. Basically, after Hal had destroyed the core in Emerald Twilight, the Dark Stars sort of rose to become like kind of universal law enforcement in the absence of the Green Lantern Corps. But what you discovered was like their suits were being, if you can imagine this, controlled by the Controllers a little bit. And I think we're actually powered by the Controllers themselves, like used their power, their energy to give them power. They have some like energy blast powers, flight, protection in space, the sort of standard pack of Space Cop kind of powers that you need. But I think those original exomantle suits were actually powered by the Controllers, which was a problem. And then John Stewart was a Dark Star, and I think he became like the leader of them. They removed the Controllers from the equation, and then they had suits that were sort of self-powered, but I think they were like difficult to build or something. So there were only like 20 or some odd Dark Stars. In modern comics, they've come up, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. I mean, a lot of that book was about like, should the Green Lantern Corps be the cops? If there was a swing to like the Sinestro Corps maybe will patrol and enforce order their way, which is, however that is. And then it was like the Dark Stars are going to do it. Now, there's this whole sort of like, who said that the Green Lanterns were the cops? Like, is kind of the question that series kept posing, which is like, they say they are, but why?
Yeah, because they said they are, yeah.
Well, exactly. And that thing came up a lot. So the Dark Stars showed up in that too. As far as what the exomantle suits can do, like I said, the sort of standard pack, I think for a bit they had like tiers of armor, where there was like a main armor that could do all the stuff, energy blasts and flying and protection and all that kind of stuff. And then they had like armor, like, I don't know what you call it, like rookie armor or like recruit armor, where it's like, we don't know if we can trust you with the power of this suit yet. So here's training wheels. Like, I think there was something like that they had. As far as like, how does it stack up against the Green Lanterns? I mean, they certainly put up a fight with them. I think there's a powerful AI inside the Dark Star suits. I think that's even in recent comics. So if there's an AI, if it has something to do with the Controllers, then that would be like, I guess you would say comparable to how the Green Lanterns have a bit of an AI in their rings, right? Their rings can access the Book of Oa, which has all this knowledge, ways to do things, history of the universe, all that kind of stuff. If they can tap into that, then the Dark Stars have their equivalent by tapping into whatever the Controller AI is.
Yeah.
So I think there's some equivalency there. The fact that they, in some form or another, get their power or whatever from the Controllers means it's like getting your power from the Guardians. The Guardians themselves are extremely powerful beings. So I'm willing to say that there may be... Dark Stars might be like a sort of unrefined or almost kind of clunky version of something. So maybe that's why they can be defeated. But I would say that they're dealing with something relatively formidable just between the power of the Controllers, the AI in the suit, and the fact that demonstrably they can fight Green Lanterns already.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say they're dealing with something pretty powerful there. And that whole thing, I can't remember how many years ago it was, quite a long time ago, but that like when they took the controllers out of it, in order to make a comparable suit, it was like, took forever to make. It was like impossible to build. So they only had like 20 of them. So I think if you're taking that as like, that's the level they were trying to get back to, then that must be pretty powerful. Otherwise you would just build the suit. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be that hard, right? But if it's so kind of impossibly difficult to manufacture without the controllers in there, then maybe that's an indication of how strong they are.
So compared to the Green Lantern suit,
I mean, it's weaker. It has to be because it's willpower, right? Like the ultimate strength of the Green Lanterns is that if you have enough will, you can constantly bolster your own ability.
Yeah.
There's no upper limit
if
you have more will.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Hulk with anger sort of thing, right? So ultimately, yeah, I mean, Green Lantern's more powerful.
Yeah.
It has to be. But I guess I'm saying the exomantle suit is nothing to balk at. It's not like a cheap paper suit that's going up against the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah. First question comes from our favorite spacey, sexy texter.
Cosmic DM.
Slipping in them DM.
Sliding right in.
It's a rocket ship into my DM.
Oh, okay. Easy now.
He's in space, so that's what you gotta do. Cosmic DM asks, does Batman Beyond continue the Bat tradition of having a bunch of suits of different things?
Ooh.
Four different things?
Yes and no. Yes, because there are multiple suits in Batman Beyond. There's not only the one. But no, because the
suit itself kind of changes.
The benefit of that future suit is that future tech allows it to do way more than Batman's original suits ever could. I mean, it's got way more storage capacity. Like the amount of things it can carry. It's got the like rock. It can fly. You know, that would be a special Batman suit. It'd be like, get my flight suit.
Yes.
Like, but Batman Beyond could just fly. He can stick to the side of buildings and things like that. He's got like sort of magnetic things in there. He's got all of his built-in like sensory things, different visions, different blah, 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 that in some cases may have been a specialized cowl or a specialized goggle or something that the original Batman would have used, right? It can also just hold more things, batarangs, smoke bombs, EMP, like all of those little tricks. I think it's maybe more hooked up to the Batmobile than like inherently than the original Batsuit would have been. But it also that Batman Beyond suit itself increases strength and durability and things like that too. Because the whole point of that suit is that Bruce makes it in his later Batmaning to sort of make up for the fact that he's aging. He ends up retiring kind of because he's aging, because his heart gives out, but also because he's worried that he's just going to die out there, or he's going to get desperate and shoot someone to try and save his own life or something like that, right? But that suit, he did design it to sort of make up for the fact that he was aging. So his original suit was just like, I need armor to wear. This bat suit was like, I need armor to wear. It also needs to make me stronger and more agile. And then on top of all that, the AI in the Batman Beyond suit is more sophisticated because it's future tech, right? Like everything is constantly advancing. Like have a look at a phone from 3 years ago versus now.
Yeah.
And then keep that going to 2040 or whenever Batman Beyond takes place, right? Like, so it's that sort of thing too. It's so much more sophisticated that way. So, I mean, yes, there are multiple suits in the Batman Beyond universe, but the point of that Batman Beyond suit is that it kind of replaces all of them.
Yeah.
You know, but if he was going to fight Superman, I bet there's still a Superman fighting suit. You know, the Batman Beyond suit isn't all purpose across the board, but I think it can handle way more things. It has way more specialties than the original Batsuit did. It used to be like, I've got to go after Mr. Freeze, get my warm-up suit. Or like, I've got to go after, like whatever, the Scarecrow, get my gas mask suit. I'm going after Croc, get my scuba suit.
I'm feeling sleepy, get my pajama suit.
Yeah. I'm going to prom, get my tux.
Suit.
I'm
going to a business meeting, getting my suit.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing that the Batman Beyond suit can do, just a fun little fact, is sort of like appear and disappear like nanotech. Think of like how they made Iron Man's suit go in those last couple of Avengers movies. Same principle for Batman Beyond. So Terry's suit can just materialize.
I like that.
Yeah.
I wonder when they're going to do that with the Flash's suit in the TV show.
Well, it doesn't have to be nanotech. He's got it in his ring.
I know, but imagine
super speed.
Imagine if it was nanotech, though. That'd be really cool.
I think the point of the nanotech, though, is that when you don't have like the super speed, just means you could put on whatever.
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
the nanotech's going to be
the nanotech is
slower
like
than
if you're just a person, that it's easier than like pulling pants on in a parking lot kind of thing.
But I mean, he still has to do that. He just has to do it. He just does it so quick you don't see it.
I think Barry is faster than the nanotech could be, though.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess that would be true. But
yeah.
I just like the idea that he's like
he'd be
waiting,
like tapping his foot.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you fucking nanotech! Like, I should just put on my suit.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what I want to see, the slow down version of him. Like,
right. So for everyone else, it just looks like he very quickly gets into his suit. But when you watch it in super speed, he's struggling.
Well, he's got one foot up and he falls onto his back, and like
he can't do it. Yeah, that actually is very funny. Every time he puts his suit on, it's a struggle.
Yeah,
but,
well, I mean,
but to everyone else, they're like, "Wow, what convenience!"
Yeah, and he's just like, haha, yeah, it's just so easy.
That's actually very funny.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot.
All right, next question comes from our old friend Dave Rossi.
Dave, Dashel, turn off the podcast.
Dave asks, what exactly is Captain Atom's suit? Is it mechanized? Does it have any capabilities, or is it just act as a barrier to keep Captain contained?
Right. Captain Atom is not a character we talk about all that much.
No, not very often.
So, little refresher.
Who's leaving the Legends of Tomorrow?
No, that's the Atom. Different.
Oh, fuck.
They're different characters.
Why are there different ones?
The Atom is Ray Palmer. He can shrink.
Yeah.
Captain Atom is originally from, wait for it, Charlton Comics.
Charlton Comics of our days and our nights. Charlton Comics of our wrongs and our rights.
So Captain,
I want Charlton Comics to comics me.
Nice.
Charlton.
Jesus. So Captain Atom was part of that group who, in his most original form, his name was Alan Atom, Alan Atom, and he is in a rocket ship, and he basically gets like disintegrated.
Ooh.
And then puts himself back together and has atomic powers.
Yuck.
Does that sound familiar? It should, because the Charlton Comics characters are the basis for Watchmen.
Oh.
Captain Atom is the template off which Dr. Manhattan is made. So on Earth 4, which is the Charlton Earth, Alan Atom there is very Manhattan-esque.
Oh, okay.
The version that's in the main DC universe is sort of similar. He ends up with sort of quantum and nuclear powers. But basically, the experiment's a bit different. His name is Nathaniel Atom. Essentially, he's like an Air Force or like Army pilot. And I think he's wrongfully convicted of a crime. And basically, the way, like, the military sort of blackmails him using that and says, like, we'll make this disappear if you participate in this ludicrously dangerous experiment of ours. And it's about this alien metal. They want to test this alien metal by, like, exploding a nuke near it. So, he's basically disintegrated, but also flung forward through time. And when he comes to, he is basically living energy. And the metal has formed around him as a bit of a skin. So his skin is basically a suit, a containment suit, because he is just energy at this point. That's essentially that has tweaked and changed. You know, there's always retcons with characters. Captain Atom has gone through quite a number of them, but broad strokes, that's how Captain Atom works. That suit is made of a very particular metal whose name I cannot remember at the moment. But it's essentially a skin, and it keeps him inside. So Dave's question, does it just contain the captain? It does. It doesn't have any abilities of its own other than, you know, like it contains this radiation. Like other people don't get sick around him. But it doesn't have like rocket boosters. It doesn't have, you know, whatever, radio or like anything like that. It's literally containment.
Yeah.
So that's sort of Captain Atom. Basically, if you, if that suit was ruptured, he would just be loose radioactive energy. He could pull himself back together, but he'd be exceedingly dangerous unless you could contain him again.
Okay.
I think in Superman Batman Public Enemies, in that arc, I think that comes up between he and Major Force or something like that. I think one of them gets ruptured. It came up in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. You actually see the suit being refilled with Captain Atom.
Oh, weird.
Because he sort of explodes and then he reconstitutes himself and then they pump him back into the suit.
Gross.
That's in that cartoon. But yeah, it doesn't really have any abilities other than that.
Yeah, good to know.
It's important for him, though, because otherwise
Yeah.
he's just fucking loose energy.
I'll show you some.
He has a
loose
real
energy.
loose energy. You know?
Oh, yeah.
When you go to the bar with him, you're like, he's got a loose energy. He's here to get wet.
Oh, yeah, and then he really gives him loose energy.
Oh, no.
Oh, next.
That's radioactive.
Man.
Oh,
The goggles, they do nothing.
that has a different connotation now.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, next question comes from Raspberries Reviews, the kind you find on a second-hand podcast. Who asks, so I have to ask, what are some of the strongest armors in DC? Which ones have the best looks, are the most useful, and of course, your own personal favorites? Which ones do you feel are useless or just awful? Lastly, name one function that your suit must have if you got one.
I mean, there's a lot of questions in there. So why don't we cut to the core of it? This was your idea for a theme. Was there like an armor that you're like, that's dope, I like that one, we should do an episode about it? Is there something that like stands out for you? You're like, I fucking love that.
I think my favorite looking one, and probably one of the most powerful, when we talked a little bit about Batman armor before, probably Hellbat.
Sure, yes. That Hellbat armor is pretty insane. So for those maybe who haven't heard about it, the Hellbat armor basically allows Bruce to go toe-to-toe with the sort of god and cosmic tier characters.
Yeah.
It is like exceedingly powerful, and he had help building it from Wonder Woman, Superman. It uses like Kryptonian tech. It uses like basically like I think Olympian materials. I think there's, you know, like he's basically drawn on all of his friends. I think there's magic involved. Like this suit is basically designed so that he can punch Darkseid. But the trade-off is it's like hooked directly into his like metabolism. So using it too much will kill him.
Yeah.
And the too much is like, that's the fun story thing. It's like, what's too much? Is it running really far?
Yeah.
Or is it a certain level of strength exerted? But yeah, it's basically hooked into his metabolism. So he did use it to go to Apocalypse and fight the New Gods to get Damien's body back when Damien was dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
Also, like, that's some fucking big dad energy.
Yeah. I think that's probably my favorite looking one. I think probably what I would consider the most powerful would be like Entropy Aegis.
Yeah, the Entropy Aegis suit. Yeah. Oh, fuck. That's one that Steel makes, I'm pretty sure. So Steel, John Henry Irons, was one of the Supermen after the death of Superman. He basically has... He wears armor. He's a guy that wears armor, has a hammer. He doesn't have powers himself, but the Entropy Aegis suit, it invoked some higher power, I'm pretty sure. Possibly Fourth World tech? Oh, I'm going to need a refresher on that. Entropy.
It was made by Earthlings, but in the aftermath of the major DC event, Our Worlds at War, he was granted an army created by the gods themselves.
That's right. I knew it was a higher power.
Utilizing the leftover armor from one of the Imperiox's nigh invincible probes. Darkseid tricked the suit out with as much Apocalypse tech as possible.
I knew it was Fourth World. Nailed it. This guy.
Nailed it.
It's apocalyptic tech. So basically, you're literally wearing like the armor of the gods, designed by gods, basically, specifically designed by evil warfaring gods. So it's a very, very powerful armor. Yeah, that would be up there. Holy shit!
Now the other question is, what are some of the worst or the most useless?
Oh my god.
Would you consider Lex's armor?
Lex's is among the more powerful because he's designed a suit of armor that legitimately allows him to go up against Superman.
What about...
beyond just like lip service, like he can actually fight Superman in that suit, and he's just a dude. That's pretty dope. I'd say Lex's is way up there actually on the power scale.
Really? Because I never thought that he actually
and it's tricked out the way Batman would trick something out, right? Like it's got all sorts of different tech and electricity and kryptonite and grenades and rockets, and it can do it can hack, and it can fly in it. It can do a lot of different things. Plus, I also think it sort of nanotech shrinks down for him. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't 100% put him on the same level as Superman, but for like basically relatively Earth tech with a few little enhancements here and there, it's a pretty insane suit. I'd say it's better than any suit that Batman has for going up against Superman. Frankly,
that's true.
Batman suits up to go up against Superman, and it relies a lot more on the fact that Bruce is a better strategist and a better fighter. It's got kryptonite or red sun tech or something somewhere, but Lex doesn't necessarily have that fighting ability, so his suit is better, to make up for that shortfall, I think.
Yeah.
Bruce can do more with less, essentially. So I would put that one way up there. Useless armor. That's pretty tough. Because usually the point of the armor is that it's not useless.
Yeah. I mean, you could talk about a lot about like the females' armor, which tend to not really like.
Well, from a design perspective, sure, yeah. The armors that still leave much to the imagination. We talked about like Starfire. Like I think I referred to it as like just battle fabric. That's sort of just very coincidentally like covered her boobs. Yeah, maybe not great armor.
Yeah.
The Green Lantern armor is extremely strong. Like being protected by the green light is extremely strong, except that it is 100% dependent on your focus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not that you wouldn't be you don't have a focus problem if you're a Green Lantern. That's already part of the vetting process, but that is a thing. You can be distracted and your constructs can become weak. It's not just always great. Like I said, the Scarab, that armor, very, very strong.
The first Green Lantern armor is just stupid.
I mean, that's a costume. That's not really armor.
Okay,
it's just a shirt and pants with a cape. Like,
yeah,
it's literally a shirt and pants.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know if I can think immediately. Okay, no, never mind. I just thought of one. I mean, I guess it's technically more of a costume than armor, but Bwana Beast only has a helmet. The rest is just a loincloth and boots, and then nothing on his torso.
What is that protecting exactly?
The helmet is less about protection, though, and more about that it's part of what grants him his powers of, like, creating chimera and things like that.
That's really
so
stupid.
It's not, I guess, really an armor, but that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman's Golden Eagle armor or even her regular armor is still made by the gods, and she's such a great fighter that good luck trying to get her on like anywhere that the armor doesn't cover.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say of the sort of main armors, maybe on the weaker side are like the Atlantean stuff. They're stronger than just like metal. Like if you're just wearing like night armor, Atlantean is better
Yeah.
because it's stronger.
Yeah.
But when you start talking about the gods or Entropy Aegis or
Yeah.
Batman's Hellbat or even his Justice Buster suit or Lex's armor, things like that, like I think all of those could probably trump Atlantean
Scarab armor. Yeah.
Scarab, I would say, is probably more powerful than Atlantean.
Yeah.
Magic is the weird thing in there, you know, like the helmet of Naboo, not as strictly speaking armor, but I think only, in my memory, I think I've only ever seen a Kryptonian damage it in battle. There was that time where Jared Stevens just melted it because he wanted to, which is stupid, but I think like as far as like battle worn, I think that's the only time I've seen it like damaged.
What do you think about Dr. Fate's armor?
Well, that's what I mean. I think because he's so powerful in magic.
But the armor itself isn't over.
Well, it's not really armor, right? Like it's really just the helmet.
Just looks like armor.
It's just a costume. The rest of it, it's not like he's wearing like a particular suit of enchanted things. He really just has the amulet and the helmet and the cloak. So I don't know that really counts. Yeah, it's funny. I think by the time you get to like specifically saying like this is armor, there's actually not a useless one. I'm probably forgetting something. Yeah. Or you know what it would be? It would be like if someone is going up against one of these heroes and they're like maybe like a lower tier, you know, if like a lower tier Batman villain is like Killer Moth, for example, is like the anti-Batman. Killer Moth basically has knockoff shitty versions of everything Batman has. So his like suit, his armor would be shitty or useless because he's just trying to mimic and he doesn't have the resources, you know, like that would be what I would think of to answer that question.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My favorite armor? I really like Lex's.
Yeah?
I kind of like the colors too, like the green and the purple. I like the look. I think Lex's armor is pretty dope, especially in recent years. It's gotten sleeker and sleeker. And I liked Lex he had super armor because he briefly was Superman. When the New 52 Superman died, Lex at that point was a member of the Justice League and was like, I will become Metropolis's Superman, and redesigned his armor to be blue and white and red. And he had the S symbol and he wore that Superman's cape.
Wow.
And it's a cool look for Lex, actually.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Okay.
It always takes me a minute to get it ready for. It's okay. I can cut this hair out.
No, just leave it in.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Yeah. Raging G rides a fiery dragon. Raging G sits in a red wagon.
Wow.
Didn't know where I was going with that, but
I had one that I deemed too inappropriate / gross.
You?
Yeah.
What was it?
I reserve the right to cut this out.
Sure. You can ask for that.
Raging G makes the ladies squirt. Raging G, he likes low-fat yogurt.
That's what the ladies squirt.
What? Should have seen that coming.
Yep. Well, that's what they said.
Wink, wink.
I
apologize. I just sometimes I have a rhyme and I just got to get it out of my head. I got to, you know.
Yeah, dog.
When inspiration strikes.
Yeah. Spaghetti.
I'm so creative. Yeah.
We're going to wrap battle after this.
Oh, definitely.
Raging G asks, New 52 Superman Kryptonian armor suit, yeah or nay?
Right. So, Superman traditionally just wears, like, it's Kryptonian fabric, so it has all of those sort of properties that the Yellow Sun grants. It makes it indestructible and stuff like that. But in the New 52, they changed his design so that instead of him just, like, having stuff made of fabric, it was like an actual suit of armor that, like, I think he wore, like, a thing on his chest and they would build out over him, and it was sort of like plates. That was the one that had like the collar. It went all the way down onto his hand in like a sort of triangle.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. That's
it didn't have the red, didn't have the trunks. It was just
they've been getting that with a lot of the like animated stuff we've been seeing.
Yeah, the recent animated movies are all that New 52 style, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike that design. I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, I also didn't dislike the one that came before it, but some people were hating on it because it was like it looked too I don't know, sci-fi. I kind of liked it because it looked alien.
Yeah.
And maybe it put too much distance between Superman and us. Maybe you kind of need him to just wear like normalish clothes.
As
like,
normal as a cape
as normal
and red
as,
underwear.
Yeah, as normal as a superhero
belt.
outfit can look. But maybe you need that so he doesn't feel so distant.
Yeah.
But I kind of dug the look of that Kryptonian armor. I thought it was kind of neat. That New 52 design I thought was pretty good, all things considered. I mean, more of my criticisms of New 52 Superman would be about his attitude than his look, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on then.
Sure.
That goes cray.
Ain't it, Jay?
What's she order?
Fish fillet.
That's right, it's the Cray Ghost. It's your bait. You like that one, don't
I
you?
do.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I can get some yay in there. You know.
Oh, yeah. The Cray Ghost asks, why would Bruce, who is already middle-aged and going to leave his prime soon, design the Hellbat armor to feed on his metabolism, which is going to worsen with age? Couldn't he borrow a sufficient power source from his friends who were building it for him anyway?
Well, I mean, a couple of things. Firstly, the Bruce that uses the Hellbat armor is not middle-aged. He's in his 30s.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And as people who may have that in common with him, I would appreciate if you didn't say middle-aged.
Yeah, who is going to, leave their prime soon.
I mean, soon.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen the photos.
Oh, my halcyon younger days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I don't actually think he's middle-aged. So it's not as outrageous to make a suit that does that. I think you can also maybe imply that if building a suit with all of his friends that makes him basically like cosmic level powerful,
yeah.
If the only power source any of them were like, that will work, was hooking it into his life force, then that must be the only one.
Yeah.
Like nothing else would be either safe to keep in an armor, be too volatile, be too, it would drain too quickly, it wouldn't, maybe it would present too much of a weakness. It would be something you could take out on the armor if it had like another,
power source. Yeah.
What's the number one thing you do in a starship, right? Target the engines.
That's right.
Target the engines and weapon systems, or life support if you're really cutthroat, like a Cardassian.
Those bitches.
Those bitches. I mean, they got theirs because Cardassia does not come out of that war very well.
No, not very. The Dominion Wars.
Sorry, back to DC. You know what I mean? Maybe I think you can imply that any of those other possible power sources would either be too dangerous to keep inside the suit with you, or be too exposed and basically become like an Achilles heel of the suit if they were a function of it. Whereas basically putting Bruce inside this thing and it just running off his life force, it's self-contained. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, the point of this armor is that Bruce is not usually doing this. This is like last resort armor.
Yeah.
That Hellbat suit is not a thing where he's like, oh, the Penguin robbed a bank, get my Hellbat armor. He just punches Penguin like through time, or that's not what he's using it for, right? You literally used it because he was like, I'm probably going to have to nut kick Darkseid.
Yeah.
It's like it's sort of out of his usual.
Yeah. And he was willing to die for it.
And yes, that's a trade he's willing to make for his son too. He's used it a couple of times since, but I don't think even he has the idea that like, oh, I'm a young guy, I'm fit, I can use the Hellbat armor for this. I think it's
because he's in his 30s and he's going to die soon.
Well, when you hit 30, you start writing wills and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally.
Yeah, I know.
I think I turned 30 and wrote a will.
Yep. Dear Mr. Wheaton.
Yeah, I wrote to him. I wrote to Will. So, if I die, can you make sure that my daughter gets all my possessions? He just gets it. He's like, am I the executor?
Yeah, is this legally binding?
Yeah, so I think that's my answer to that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, with that, the Dr. DC podcast will be back after this quick.
Hey there, residents. This episode of the Dr. DC podcast is brought to you thanks to our amazing sponsors, Great Lakes Grooming Co. They sent us some awesome products to try, so let's check them out. We have the pine tar soap. This is amazing. We use it all the time at my house. It's a really wonderful sort of peppermint smell to it. It's a traditional recipe that they've developed themselves, and it's awesome. It's a great way to get clean and smell good every day. As well, I love the peppermint lip balm, especially this time of the year, living where we do, constantly getting sort of dry lips, and it's a huge pain. So definitely want to use that. Great Lakes Grooming is meant to be easy to use, rain or shine. All their products are purposely designed and environmentally responsible, handmade here in Canada, really ready for adventure wherever one may find themselves. For you lucky listeners, we also have an opportunity where you can get 10% off on Great Lakes Grooming regular priced products by going to www.greatlakesgrooming.com and using the promo code DRDCPodcast. That's right, www.greatlakesgrooming.com. Promo code is DRDCPodcast. Back to the show.
And we're back.
Hey.
Oh, hip hop hooray.
Hip hop hurrah.
So untactful. Inappropriate.
I am wrong.
I am wrong. Well, let's leave Twitter.
Oh, okay. I was like, all right.
Let's leave.
Where are we going?
Oh, yeah, a couple rooms over. And we're heading on over. It's Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them. Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of jazz on Sirius XM lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of our drops?
No, just no.
Is it because of our drops?
Yeah.
Have you heard any of them on there yet?
Yeah.
Have we made the jazz charts?
Now coming in hot at number 1.
It's
Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram from the Dr. DC podcast.
It's actually redone by somebody else.
Yeah, it's a cover by the Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Now we're going to Instagram. Take some questions and answer them.
That would be like
It's by Erykah Badu.
Oh, I love her so much.
Yeah. Nice.
Sorry. Moving
on. Yeah. First question comes from the real Josh Gill.
Yeah, Gill.
Nah, sexy Gill. I've been sexually harassing him on Twitter now, too.
Oh, I'm aware.
That was really good.
You're taking away every safe space he had.
I just like it because he posted because Dave posted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Dave posted the live models that Alex Ross.
Yeah, and I said, see? There's nothing wrong with it. Gonna draw you like one of my French girls.
I like to imagine that you would say, let me draw, like, I'll draw you like one of my French girls, but then when you saw the finished product, it would look like one of those, like, boardwalk caricatures.
I thought it'd just be like stick person.
Yeah, but except instead of a really big head, it'd be like a really, like, small body with really enormous dick.
Well, yeah. Well, I wanted to keep it accurate.
Yeah, well. Yeah, that's what a caricature is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the most accurate way of drawing.
Yeah.
Pulls out all your flaws or your assets.
Or both.
No.
Potato.
Yeah, I guess it's the way you look at it.
What does Josh ask?
Oh, whatever. Why does Superman not utilize the black suit from Death of Superman more often? If it truly does help with solar radiation absorption, wouldn't it amp his power?
Right. So when he comes back from the dead, in the Death and Return of Superman, when he comes back, he's wearing a black suit with sort of like the white S and some white detailing on it. And the idea at that point is that he's not back at full power, that he's regenerating, and that this suit amplifies his ability to process solar radiation.
Yeah.
You can do it faster and take in more, and it has a better impact on him. And that's sort of what they imply with the black suit. Why doesn't he keep using it? Because wouldn't it supercharge him? I think technically, yeah, it would probably supercharge him. This is not a canon answer, but I'm going to go to All-Star Superman for this one.
Mm-hmm. That he's already going at like half his strength.
Well, no, in All-Star Superman, that's the one that starts with he is forced to, like, in order to save the day, he's forced to fly like almost into the sun. And when in there, he basically overcharges his cells, and that's what kills him in that story.
Oh.
He knows he's dying because his cells have taken in too much solar energy. Now, that's not in the canon of the canon stories. I can think of a direct contradiction to that, which is DC 1 Million, where Superman spends 15,000 years in the heart of the sun.
Oh my god!
And becomes immortal.
Jeez.
So I've already contradicted myself. My feeling, though, is maybe still something along those lines, which is when Superman is operating normally, when solar absorption is not a problem for him, he already basically
holds back.
He has to move around the world like it's made of paper.
Yeah.
I think maybe you could make a story argument that if he wore the black suit, that would be too difficult for him.
Yeah.
He would be needlessly strong and wouldn't be able to hold it back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's not trying to get back up to the level where he's meant to be. It would be
him boosting his already immense strength.
Even if it didn't kill him like in All-Star Superman, I think it would make him unwieldy, and maybe that's part of it.
Because I'm really like, there's few villains that could even handle his full strength. So,
and generally his full strength is good enough to get the job done. Between his full strength and being smart and compassionate and all of the other things he brings to the table, right?
And rarely that if there's a villain that can actually like affect him or is a match, it's rarely because of strength.
And the last few times he's fought Doomsday, it's gone considerably better for him.
Yeah.
You know, like, even Doomsday, who's meant to be the ultimate physical match for him, he could basically handle.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been explicitly said, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if he were at normal solar absorption, he avoids wearing the suit because it would throw off his otherwise precarious like grasp of like human force, you know, like he's barely able to, you know, hang up a phone without putting it through the desk.
Yeah.
So if he was wearing that suit, I think it would be maybe too difficult / impossible for him.
Totally.
I think that's a reasonable assumption to make.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're leaving Instagram. Oh, so sweet. So quick.
So brief.
Yeah. It's makes you come back.
Yeah.
Just like, because Josh is there.
I'd say it's ephemeral.
Yeah, it's a thirst trap.
Here in an instant, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Kind of like life.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's going to be leaving soon. I mean, we are in our 30s.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's on the horizon.
Yeah.
That sunset's getting close.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're leaving Instagram and we're heading on over to email.
Check the email. There we go. That's the one I missed. The unintelligible mumble one.
Oh, yeah. It's not a female. It's fine felony addict.
Forsooth.
What's the comment? I don't know. I don't get the reference.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It said thine, so I was like, forsooth would fit.
Okay, fair enough. Thine felony addict asks, what's a felony addict? Does that mean that you're addicted to crime?
Is this Robbie's just this guy?
Robbie didn't do it. Robbie can't stop doing it.
Robbie's not thine felony addict. I'm going to laugh my ass off if this is Robbie's just this guy.
That'd be very funny. Yeah. What can you tell us about the Suit of Sorrows, its origins, and its wearers in the DCU?
Right. So, Suit of Sorrows is worn by a couple of the characters who go by Azrael. So Azrael was Jean-Paul Valley was Azrael. He took over as Batman after Nightfall and things like that. But there have been a couple of other Azraels. But essentially, the Suit of Sorrows is created by, I think it's actually like a sect of the Order of Saint Dumas.
Oh, okay.
The Order of Saint Dumas is like the weird religious cult that creates Azrael. But I think it's a particular sect that makes this Suit of Sorrows. And I think the way that it works, if I'm not mistaken, is it's got a sort of cybernetic component where it kind of controls the thoughts or memories of the wearer, in order to make them more compliant and to make them believe in this like righteous holy cause and divine judgment. And Azrael is basically like a killing kind of hero, right? Which always has put Azrael in the past at odds with Batman. So the Suit of Sorrows, the couple of different people that have been Azrael, and I think it's got that component to it where, and in the most recent run of Detective Comics, but maybe a couple of years ago, when they were like a team that included Batwoman and Azrael and a bunch of characters, there was a whole thing about the AI taking control of that version is Jean-Paul Valley. It was a whole thing about the AI taking control, that he was losing control of himself to the suit. I think they throw it in the Arkham Knight too, actually. I think there's a whole side mission with Azrael where you realize that his memories have been altered, that he's been programmed and things like that. I don't know that in that one they make the suit so responsible for it, but I think there's an aspect of there being a sort of AI component or like a mind manipulation component to the suit. It also, I think, does do some sort of strength and durability enhancements and maybe some like agility kind of stuff. But essentially, yeah, it's created by this religious order. And it's a method of control of whoever this Azrael is. That's the sort of short version of it.
Nice.
I would recommend, you can read the Azrael stuff that I think his name was Michael Lane. He was a different version of Azrael, but I really like that Detective Comics run. It's like in the high 900s, I think, that features Azrael and his suit sort of taking him over and things like that. That's a cool run. I would recommend reading that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Robbie's Just This Guy, this is not Richard.
Oh, not conspicuous at all.
Yeah. This is not Richard from the email didn't.kill@colin.jk.
I didn't notice that email.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real, though, it was an accident. Nobody could have predicted that a hydrogen-filled dirigible would just go up like that.
Yeah, we could never.
I mean, sure, we told Colin he could smoke on the flight, but
yeah, but and give him that.
Since when have you not been able to smoke on flights?
Yeah, it's not my fault he got that Samsung phone from me.
And that we texted him like 50 times before the.
Yeah, it's just happenstance.
Oh man,
nothing to do with us.
Complete coincidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What does not Richard ask?
Well, Richard doesn't ask, but does because
no.
Richard.
What does not Richard ask?
And not Richard asks.
Doesn't ask.
Doesn't. Yeah. See, it's confusing. Has Dr. Manhattan ever used a battle suit or anything besides the codpiece? It doesn't always wear the codpiece.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Would it serve a purpose or just be for intimidation / style?
I mean, it would literally only be for style.
Yeah.
But as you know, Dr. Manhattan has such a tenuous grasp of his own humanity that I think he style is one of the early things he abandons.
Yeah.
Like he wears the sort of shorts thing in Vietnam because, he's working for the government.
Yes.
But then he's like, dicks out. It's like, I've moved beyond, I've transcended pants. He's, like,
haven't we all?
At the point where you can see like all of, like the prism of time and things like that, I don't think you give a shit if your dick's out.
No, I guess not.
But it literally couldn't serve a purpose because he can manipulate the quantum. Like, he can manipulate quantum physics. He can reconstitute himself from nothing. He can teleport. He can move through space.
Why did he give himself a dick?
He can see... Well, he doesn't give it. He rebuilds himself as him. But you're right. He wouldn't even have to do that.
Yeah.
He could rebuild himself as anything.
I just don't understand why he gives himself a dick if he does.
Well, you gotta hang out of your humanity.
Yeah.
sometimes hang out for hours.
Yeah, I call mine my humanity. I'm holding on to my humanity. What do you want?
Well, we're in a public place and the sermon's about to start.
Talk about your suit of sorrows.
Talk about a real grasp on humanity.
Oh, God. But yeah, I mean,
Hold on, I'm about to lose my grasp on humanity.
oh no. This is a very short answer, but no, he's never done that. And yes, it would only be for style. It wouldn't serve a purpose.
Yeah. All right, well, let's leave email and head on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
Not even once. It's a great place. First question comes from Never Say Die, Iron Joker 33. Why you shake your head? You used to love that song.
Before I heard it. I liked your version. Now
Well-
I've heard the real one. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No. And like I said last week, Iron Joker should have written a better song.
It's Iron Eagle.
Yeah, but Iron Joker wrote it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Yeah. Iron Joker wrote his own song.
Yeah.
I apologize.
30 years ago.
When he was 3.
Yeah.
Never see die.
No, that's his Terminator thing. He has John Connor sends him back to write his own song.
Do you want to know what he asks?
Sure.
Okay. What is the armor with the greatest Achilles heel? One that is powerful, but has a massive flaw that is easy to exploit. Well, that Death Star outfit, real sucks.
Yeah, I got that thermal exhaust port.
Yeah.
Especially because on a human, 2 meters wide is a real easy target.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, it's just like shooting womp rats.
With your mind.
Luke's so whiny.
God, he's the only thing that is worse than whiny Luke is Anakin Skywalker.
Whiny Anakin?
Yeah.
I hate sand.
Oh, I can't be a Jedi.
Gets everywhere.
Well, my mom's dead.
I mean, that's more legitimate. Right. I mean, I would say that Hellbat one is a pretty big weakness.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is that ultimately...
But you can't really exploit that except for making him just fight more.
I mean, I think that is a thing you can exploit, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if that thing's so powerful enough that it could defeat you, then you're not really trying to get him to fight more.
Yeah, I mean...
You're just defending yourself.
I wouldn't say that suit makes him more powerful than Darkseid. It makes him able to survive against him.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely push him to death in that suit.
Yeah.
There's a sort of fun thing, might be in Forever Evil, it might actually be in multiple comics, but Lex Luthor's suit famously has his head exposed.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's in Forever Evil where maybe Deathstroke sneaks up on him and has a gun to his head. And he goes billions of dollars to make that suit and I could kill you so easily. And he says something like, it must just eat you up inside that people wouldn't know it's you.
Yeah.
He basically says it's your ego, right? I think you have to assume there's some sort of force field or Lex has tricks up his sleeve. He's an egomaniac.
Completely
He's not
indefensible,
stupid.
yeah.
But that I do think it's funny, that idea of his exposed head. In the Robot Chicken things, there's a thing where he comes in, he's like, in my new special armor, and he gets hit in the face with a ball, and he's like, Tyler! He just gets takes the ball straight to the face.
That's really funny.
That idea makes me laugh. And even though it is kind of played for jokes, I think there's something to the idea that maybe he is enough of an egomaniac that he could make that suit impenetrable. But even if it's a force field or something, just by having an exposed head maybe is a flaw.
Well, because even if it's a force field, it's not going to be as strong as the armor itself.
Well, exactly. I think maybe there's an element of truth to that his egomania is present in his suit and could be its undoing. I think that's a pretty fun kind of flaw, Achilles heel in a suit. Let's see. What's another? I'm having a hard time thinking of other sort of main kind of weaknesses of a suit that you could exploit. I mean, I guess you could say if your suit has any sort of onboard computer system, it's hackable.
Mm-hmm. Cyborg,
things like that.
Green Lanterns?
mean, the Green Lantern one that we talked about is that if you're making sort of construct armor, then like you better keep your focus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that is technically an Achilles heel of that. But again, the vetting process of Green Lanterns is like, you should be able to at minimum handle this.
Yes.
Like,
That's sort of day one stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's like, even when you're unconscious, the ring can still protect you in space and like, stuff like that. So like, I think you have to really be losing your focus to to make that a real thing.
Yeah.
So
much so you have to be actively trying to not have it.
Right, yeah. I guess if you have anything that's sort of magic based, your Achilles heel would be like nth metal. Famously sort of counteracts magic. So if you had any sort of like enchanted, maybe like made by the gods kind of armor, I think there's nth metal would be like the way to kind of counteract it or undo it. I don't know that I'd call that an Achilles heel, but it's certainly like a counter to an armor like that. I mean, the Rocket Reds, their armor, I think the Achilles heel there is that it's like faulty Soviet technology. Yeah, I don't know that there's many with like a really like easily exploitable thing in there, but the big ones to me would be Lex with his head out and like the Hellbat armor are two big ones
for sure.
I think there was a thing too where it's like they did it in the animated series where like Superman, if he knew he was going up against kryptonite, would put on like a suit to protect him from the radiation, but like no suit, like if anything Kryptonian is weak against kryptonite, then no other suit you can make is going to do a better job.
No.
Like that's more likely to rip or tear than anything.
Yeah.
So if your Kryptonian stuff's not going to do it, then anything else you're making is like, yeah, maybe it gives you a slight advantage for a bit, but the likelihood of it failing is pretty high.
Totally.
You know, like it would be like if you had on a full suit of armor and then on top of that you put like thin padding. It was like, yeah, it might like a little bit do something more, but like you're already wearing the good thing. If it's going to go through your steel armor, it's making it through the padding. Like,
yeah,
like, that's it, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's like if the knife was just long enough that it could fit through the armor, but then it like just happened to like the padding was just enough to keep it from touching you.
Bing.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it would be pretty specific circumstance. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to the second and last question on Reddit.
Sure.
And the last question for the day.
Ooh.
Comes from Chan CCK 180.
Really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, just like, like butter. How could you not come up with that name? Right? How is he not like? How is there not Chan CCK 1?
I like the
1
idea
to 180.
that, yeah, it was. I like the idea that it was Chan, and then he went Chan 1, and went all the way through.
Yeah.
That, went all the way through like Chan A.
Yeah,
and like he had to get to Chan CCK 180. That's the first one that was available.
Yes. I'm surprised there's so many Chans.
3, like he went through 6 alphanumeric digits to get to the one that he could take.
That's amazing. Chan CCK 180 asks a couple questions here. Let's go for the first one.
Sure.
A new listener here and love your podcast.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Chan. CCK 180. I first started listening with your Morrison episode. Yeah, well, Kyle. And have
That's a good episode.
Yeah, it is a good one. And have since started listening to all of your old episodes. I'm sorry to hear that. I can't believe you're still around.
Godspeed.
Yeah, this was him a few episodes in. Yeah, he doesn't actually know where we're at now.
He doesn't listen anymore.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I was out at episode 3.
Yeah.
Like,
He went to the one before, wrote this email, and then listened to the one after that, and then bailed.
Nah, I'm good.
Here, can I undo that email? I have 2 questions. First, in your headcanon, how does Batman's plain vanilla costume protect the wearer's chin?
Do you have a theory on this one? I have one that's relatively supported by comics and video games, but I was just wondering if you had like a sort of thoughts. Like, Batman puts a lot of money into this suit of armor and he leaves his chin out.
Well, because he puts the bot on his chest, and that's what people shoot at, so they're not worried about the chin.
Look at that. It was a little test, and you did great.
I think good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's come up in comics, and Arkham Knight, it's a story point in that one, that it's a bit of a psychological trick. Having the bat on his chest sort of unintentionally, subconsciously draws people's attention. It's something for them to aim at.
Yes.
So it actually draws fire away from his face.
head.
So it's not that the armor itself does something to protect his chin. It's that he's
the way that the armor is designed.
not putting his chin in danger.
Yes.
Essentially is the idea. The bat is also the strongest point of his armor. When we saw that in that Detective Comics 1000, in that special story that Kevin Smith wrote. It's in lots of different things, Arkham Knight, lots of comics, but that's basically where his armor is the strongest. So it's sort of a subconscious little trick in there. As for why he leaves it out, I'm not 100% sure. You can maybe make a story thing that it reminds himself and others that there's a person in there, that he's not a god or a monster.
Also, it's really hard to talk with your face covered.
Could be that. The Batman Beyond suit, because it's nanotech, covers the whole face.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it could just be for the sake of being easy to talk, because it has to still be, his cowl is armored, and even in the movies, like Batman v Superman, he takes a point blank shot to the head with a gun and it ricochets off his cowl. Yeah. That wouldn't be flexible enough for speaking if it covered everything.
No.
I mean, you could maybe make the argument he put a speaker in it or like whatever the fuck, but he doesn't do that. But yeah, I'd say it's like the psychological, it's all of those things about like in his training, like the criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot and all that kind of psychological training that he goes through, learning like the psyche of villains and crooks and stuff like that's what is applied in the armor. Yeah,
for sure. All right. Part 2 of this question. As we are in a world of fantastical beings with nigh limitless powers, armor, battle suits serve more as a narrative device, i.e. to show the character's intellect, to raise the stakes of a conflict, or to show the age of a character, than providing any practical use. How do you prefer armor/battle suits to be used as a narrative device?
Right. I think what we're talking about here is not a character whose suit is just always armor. We're not talking about like a Blue Beetle here.
Yeah.
I think what we're talking about here is like Superman is like, we've never faced a threat like this.
Yeah.
Like kind of puts the extra pieces on.
Yeah.
Superman doesn't need armor, but he puts it on. Like, does it actually do anything?
Yeah.
I think I'm tempted
Wonder Woman wearing like even the small bit of armor that she does wear,
armor, stuff like that. Yeah, I think I agree in general with the principle that it's more just to sort of raise the stakes. But do you have is there like a particular kind of story where you're like, where either they put on armor and you go like, yeah, that's it, or they don't put on armor and you go like, oh, it would have been cool if they did. Like, is there like a particular thing you would look for?
There's a thing with Flash where they're constantly trying to like update his suit, and I'm like, at the end of the day, it's about how fast he can go, not like what the suit can do. That I always kind of find a little bit funny.
Right. Yeah.
That being said, if he had a really powerful armor that was really like strong, like none of his armor is really ever meant for like strength heightening.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
And that is a thing that if he had that speed and some like extra strength, he could be a lot more powerful.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think you get some kind of Battle Flash look and stuff in like that opening cinematic for DCUO.
Yeah.
Or in Injustice, some of those kind of designs. And weirdly in Batman v Superman, that scene where he's coming through the Speed Force and he's like, Bruce, you have to find us.
Yes.
He's like in an armor suit that like opens up.
Yeah.
But because we never got the rest of the Snyder
we have no idea.
We have no idea why or what it did. But that's a thing. Yeah, that's true. I guess, is there like a circumstance where you would be like, I can think of one for the Flash, but is there a circumstance where you would be like, the Flash putting on armor would actually add to this story? Like a type of story where you'd be like, yeah, I want to see, like, or a type of villain that he'd go up against or something.
Yeah, I mean, for me, especially when he goes against other speedsters, if the speed is the thing that he can't increase, then why not make a suit more powerful, which doesn't ever seem to really be part of it.
Yeah. There's a thing in Wally West run as the Flash where they talked about there's like an alien race that studies the Speed Force, and they've managed to like, they give him like a piece of solidified Speed Force.
Oh, weird.
I think it'd be neat if if he's going up against the biggest speedster ever, or like Zoom and Thawne and Savitar, and they all team up, or and he can't beat them. If he goes into the Speed Force and armors himself with solid Speed Force, that would be one where I'd be like,
hell yeah.
Because what this question is saying, that would be a thing that indicates he's never had a fight like this. And I think that would be a super dope thing. Same thing for Green Lantern, right? They always have the aura.
Yeah.
That's plenty of protection, but sometimes they'll make construct, other armor and a helmet or things.
It doesn't really make a difference though.
I don't know that it actually does. Maybe slightly because it's a thicker construct, but it's more for the visual of it's battle time.
Yes.
That kind of shit is, it's pretty dope, right? Or a Cyborg, he would make his suit kind of bigger or something. I do think I agree. It's a good, especially in an event comic, just day to day, if Superman's fighting Parasite, I don't need to see him put another suit on or something like that. He can find a way to beat Parasite without that.
Yeah.
But if the event is that Parasite gets the power of complete entropy, can consume everything, and then Superman is then I'd be into that because it's part of that raising stakes thing. I think that's the thing you want to see in event comics, right?
That being said,
at the end of Dark Knight's Metal, they all get 10th metal suits, right at the end, 10th metal armor, and that's pretty dope,
That being said, we did see a great occasion of Batman in some sweet ass armor raising the stakes. Ninja Batman.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah.
The mech suits at the end.
Yeah.
Was.
Yeah. God, that movie just so fucking insane.
It's so good.
I love it, but what an insane movie.
Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, I think I agree. I think when you put a hero who doesn't normally wear armor in armor, you're saying they've never had a fight like this. And
you never had a fight. Never had a fight. No, you never had a fight.
With the exception of Batman, I would only really want to see it reserved for a big story, either an event thing or something just in their own story that's meaningful. I don't just want to use it in an arc. You know what I mean? It's got to be going somewhere, I think, to justify it for putting Wonder Woman in additional armor.
Yeah.
If she, has to go to Hephaestus and be like, I need the strongest.
Hephaestus for the rest of us.
Yeah. Hephaestus, the Forge God.
Oh, whatever. Sure. Less fun.
Hephaestus?
Yeah. For the rest of us.
For the rest of Jesus Christ.
I think that's it for the armor talk.
Nice. That was awesome. Those were good questions.
Those were great questions.
Yeah.
I feel like, is there anything we didn't touch?
In terms of main ones, those are a lot of the big ones. Entropy Aegis came up, which I wasn't expecting, actually.
Love that book.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah. The tome,
that Tashin one. Yeah.
The tome brings many knowledge to me.
That's many knowledge.
Yeah.
It looks like you're sacrificing some knowledge to make room for the new stuff.
Me no.
No. Richard, stop! You don't need to learn this. I'm the doctor.
Me doctor now.
Bizarro. Me am not expert.
No, not. No. Am I? Expert?
We am not have to think, Dial Doc?
No, we have to.
Oh.
That's right. It's time for this week's Dial Doc.
Yeah, Dial Doc. It's based on the Dial H for Hero, where you get the H dial, you type in hero, and you become a never-before-seen hero or villain. Used to be a way for readers to write in and come up with silly ideas and do stuff like that. And we try every week to come up with our own versions.
Single week.
Until you release us. Hashtag sweet release.
Hashtag sweet release.
Which, by the way, whenever this podcast does end, the last episode is going to be called hashtag sweet release.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever episode that is.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds long. It's a single gunshot.
Wait, one?
Yeah.
One of us has to live with it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And you, the listener, get to vote.
I like you pointed it to the camera as if it was still there. Good God.
Do you have a Dial Doc?
I do.
All right. What's up?
Keeping within the theme of this week, mine is sort of costume armor sort of based.
Okay.
The character's name is Emperor.
Okay.
And they have the ability to take whatever armor or costume or outfit someone's wearing and immediately put them on, rendering them naked.
Oh, I see. Like the Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah, you get.
Okay, yeah. So if they like touch them, then the armor would assemble on them, and the person wearing it would have nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, a very specific power, extremely useful.
Yeah, right?
Can they do the opposite? Just like touch someone else, put that armor on them?
Totally.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. I mean, very, very specific power, extremely useful.
Hilarious.
Humiliating on the battlefield.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some characters I'd like to see that used on.
Easy. Come on now.
Alfred.
Okay, I've got one.
Oh, wait, there goes my clothes.
Keep it together, Alfred.
You just went into the cold water. It's not your fault.
Jesus. Mine is called Fashion Forepaw.
Okay.
Fashion Forepaw is like a sort of like a dog centaur.
I was wondering,
Not a horse centaur,
but half dog,
half dog and half person. But like,
wait, which part is the dog?
It'd be like giant sized dog. It would be like sort of centaur, but it's like a dog part.
But like the bottom or the top?
Bottom, and then you have like a human.
Okay, just making sure.
Torso and head, and Fashion Forepaw, basically, like each of their paws would wield like a different type of material. One would be fabric, one would be metal, one would be like leather, one would be like I'm not sure, like bead or like something like that. And then using they can like basically like hit people with the powers of those different
You
things.
would think that it would just be the metal one. Fabric.
Yeah, well, but the fabric one might be like, because then they could like touch them with and bind them in fabric. The metal one would be good for punching.
I would just
like
punch,
unlocking doors and stuff.
Yeah.
The leather one would be like for like shielding from bullets. You know what I mean? Like they sort of have, but they have to basically kick their legs into the right position.
That's really
to
cute.
use the powers, because the legs have static like one leg is only ever this one leg. So that's fashion.
Could they like swing from the
fabric?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. But they
be
have to use, like, if it's your back right one, you can only ever swing that way. Whoa! Like,
that's good. I like that.
But that's Fashion Forepaw.
Did you think fashion faux pas, fashion forepaw?
Yes, but there was a step before that, which was Tashin, which was this book.
I appreciate that. That's nice. It got you on track. That's all that matters. We would love to hear the types of characters that you residents can come up
please.
with. All you have to do is use the hashtag DialDoc and send us your idea for a hero, a villain, or maybe somewhere in between. Or you can send us questions for next week's episode.
Yeah. Well, next week's episode actually comes out after I've left on vacation. So I thought it would be fun if we did an episode all about European characters, because that's where I'm going.
Yeah, those pissed lovers.
Yeah. Euro trip.
Europeans. Yeah. Little piss daddies.
No, it's not about that. It's not. I don't want to answer more
I'm
bueno excelente questions.
European, I'm a peon.
Jesus Christ. So full of dad jokes, but they're also the crudest dad jokes.
That's what I'm here for.
But yeah, European characters. So it's our Euro trip episode.
God.
Send your questions.
Fun. Is there that many Euro characters?
There are, and there was a run of Justice League Europe. All of these kind of things. They all count. So
do your research, kids.
Yeah. Send your questions in.
All right. And you can do that all through our social media platforms, such as our Facebook.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Our Twitter.
At Dr. DC.
Our Instagram.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Our email.
drdcpodcast@gmail.com.
Of course, our subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
We've got a YouTube page.
That's right. It's youtube.com/DrDC.
I believe so.
Or Dr. DC Podcast. If you type in Dr. DC Podcast, you'll find us right
Yes,
away.
absolutely. Yeah. You can watch our new video episode.
That's right. And, if the way you listen to other things is on YouTube, all of our other episodes are up there too. But
only one's got visuals.
There's only one with visual. You know what's funny? So that visual one, obviously, big hit for us. But I was looking back through, they have sort of modest views, because most of our listeners listen on podcast apps, except for the porn parodies episode, which is clearly about search terms.
Yeah.
That's how people have found that one.
Yeah.
That has a lot of listens. And the one with Gabrus.
If you found a podcast out by search terms and then ended up with that episode and then just happened to enjoy it, please let me know.
Oh my God, I would love to know that.
I would love to know.
Be
No
like-
judgment. I would love to know.
I was hoping to jerk off, but I found this delightful podcast.
Yeah, that's the review.
5 stars.
Please give us that review if that's what happened. There's nothing more that I would love to hear.
Yeah.
And of course, the doc phone is now open.
That's right. It's 208-917-3238.
We haven't gotten a lot of phone calls through there in a while. You can give us your dial docs. You can just ask a question. It doesn't have to be about the next episode. If you come upon some great DC
Do you know what?
comic that you love, or
if you dial the number for the doc phone, and while it's ringing, you just hold it up to like a friend's or your parents' face and say, "Give a 5-star review of the Dr. DC podcast." We will accept that as a review, counting toward our 52 reviews. At which point we get tattoos. If you send us doc phone reviews, those count.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you get your grandmother to give us a 5-star review on the phone, you go, "Great."
What's a podcast?
Yeah, just shut up, Grandma. Give me the review.
I think they do very good.
Yeah, okay. Now I'll release the restraints.
Oh, Jesus. So dark.
Oh, Mima.
So dark.
Well, she should have given the review when I asked her the first time.
Yikes.
Which, of course, leads us to you can listen to our podcast, but you can also read our DC-specific articles and buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
On our website.
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
And, of course... Speaking of those reviews, get those sweet reviews in. Anywhere you want. iTunes is lovely, but we've been enjoying all these new Facebook ones.
Go to the barber, get a sweet undercut, and get them to shave a 5-star review of the Dr. DC podcast into your hair.
I like that.
Yeah.
When you go, if you're at your Comic-Cons and your fan expos this year, go up to an artist and ask them to draw a 5-star review.
Yeah. If you get stopped by like a police officer and he maybe suspects you of impaired driving, instead of reciting the alphabet backwards, give a 5-star review of the Dr. DC.
That's going to work so well.
Instead of calling your lawyer, call us with a 5-star review of the Dr. DC podcast.
Are you taking your prom date out and the parents are asking you when you're going to bring them home?
Yeah.
Just tell them that to listen to the Dr. DC podcast, and they'll explain exactly what you're going to do with her.
Yikes! If you go out for like a karaoke night with friends and you can't pick what song to do, just go up and just say,
"Sing,
give me the mic," and just sing a 5-star review of the Dr. DC podcast.
5 stars for Dr. DC.
It's a memory. It's a fucking cats.
I've got to listen. You've got to listen to the podcast, boys and girls.
For some reason in my head, I had Celine Dion's Power of Love, where it's like, 'cause it's a podcast about comic books. I don't know why. But yeah, however you get those reviews.
2814, no 5 stars.
Nice.
Yeah.
However you get those reviews to us, when we hit 52, Richard and I are getting DC Comics tattoos.
That's right, on our dicks.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah, mine's gonna say Last Son.
Wow, yours is gonna be 2
Kryptonian.
stars, but that's not your fault.
Kidding me?
2 giant stars because you got that big Vanier dick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Of course, we've got a Patreon. We're about to record an episode right now.
Yeah.
You'll be able to listen to it this Friday if
Yeah. It's only $5 a month. It's patreon.com/DrDC. You get a full extra episode every week. They come out on Fridays. It's the double dose. We talk about DC. We talk about Marvel. We talk about movies, comics, TV, music, not that stuff like Star Trek, Star Wars. It's basically just where we geek out sans format.
That's right.
There's some documentary tracks where you can listen along with a particular
we just
movie.
did a commentary track for 2004's Catwoman.
My God, what a hot pile of garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just say sorry.
What a wet pile of cat litter.
Wait, let me just write sorry on a bag for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, go over to the Patreon, sign up. There's lots of cool stuff over there.
Yeah, dog. We'll talk to you Friday if you're subscribing to the Patreon.
Nice.
Otherwise, see you next
Wednesday.
week. Yo, yo.
Adios.
On the Super superheroes. They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.